Hello and welcome to Three Books with Dui. I am your host, Dui Lemi Awolalu, and my guest this week is Tofunmi Adesonya. Tofunmi is a very good friend of mine who is an indigenous enthusiast of African cultures, the Yoruba culture in particular. She's a fashion entrepreneur and focuses on bespoke tailoring for women, alongside ready-to-wear clothing and accessories for both men and women. To find out more about Tofunmi's fashion outlet, you can check out our Instagram page at Ashake Orikilewa. Hey, Tofunmi, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Shay?
I'm good. Trying to be alive. Trying to keep my head sane.
That's
in
nice.
This very insane period. How's your week been?
The life has been intense. Absolutely looking forward to a new week, a fresh start.
You said the week was intense. How are you looking forward to the new week? No one is ever looking forward to the new week.
When you have so many problems in the old week, you're definitely looking for a clean slate.
For a new set of problems.
Excuse me, that's not what I meant. For a clean slate and hopefully solutions to all your previous problems, not a new set of problems, please.
Okay, you're being positive. I'm just trying to be realistic. You most likely will get new set of problems added to those other problems, but continue. You think it's by that all your problems will disappear?
Hopefully it's a good week ahead.
So how have you been coping with this lockdown period? Do you prefer it like this? Do you like the restrictions? Some people, because weirdly, some people say they like it this way. They would rather the world remain this way. So what's your take on the issue around this COVID-19 situation?
I would say that I'm a very outgoing person, and I absolutely enjoy hanging out with my friends and my family and all of that. Like in my local city, I'm that one girl who plans all the hangouts and all the get-togethers. Yeah, so initially, when the lockdown started, I was like, oh God, I'm going to die if I don't see new people's faces.
Yeah.
And I told my mom that. I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm so going to die. And she's like, we have people in this house now. You see our face and can. I'm like, no. Face you know? So I was really sad initially, but then I also spent most of the month adjusting to being able to balance being super outgoing and then just like enjoying chilling with myself. I'd say that even before the lockdown, I did enjoy chilling with myself, but it just helped me calm down a little. And according to Nigerian parents, I guess mature as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you discovered the part of like trying to have fun by yourself.
Yes.
For me,
that
it
was a good thing for me.
I really loved it, especially the first period, like the first few months. I liked it because I'm an introvert, so I enjoy my space, right? So it was very easy for me to really adapt. There was no point adapting to something that is my regular thing. Do you understand? Yeah. So I'll stay indoor. What I'll do is just go to the mall, buy biscuits, buy everything I need for that week. Do you get?
Enjoyment minister.
Exactly. Download movies. Watch
Makes
Netflix
sense.
like a madman. Do you get? So it was really, really nice. That was when House Party came out. That House Party app. Were you part of that craze? That House Party craze? Yeah.
Nope.
You're not.
Craze.
Oh, she tush girl.
Nope.
Tush girl.
It's not like that. It's not like that. I don't know. I really didn't spend time on social media much. I guess like aside learning to live with myself, I also like did a couple of courses.
Okay.
Just like some Google courses, digital courses
Yeah.
online, and for self-development and all of that. Some business-related ones. It was a time for growth for me, really.
Or more, it's people like you that after you hear them speak, you have to rethink your life and you feel useless. I actually feel very useless now because I did not take a single course.
That's not true. It's absolutely okay. Thank
you for making my life look very miserable right now. Thanks a lot.
That's not true.
But that's fine. So yes, let's move on to the business of the day. So what are your 3 books?
My 3 books. The first one is The Secret Lives of Baba Segi's Wives.
Mm-hmm.
And that was written by Lola Shoneyin.
Is it Shegi or Segi?
I genuinely don't know. Like, I don't know how that is pronounced.
Okay.
So much for being a Yoruba child.
They didn't put all that army stuff.
It wasn't on the book, and then I actually haven't heard anyone talk about it, so I don't even know like how her name is pronounced or how the book is pronounced and all of that.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was written by Lola Shoneyin, and she's related to Wole Soyinka in some way that I cannot recall.
I think really cool. she married Wole Soyinka's son.
So
she's the daughter-in-law.
Makes sense. That's cool. Because initially I thought they were related by blood, and I was like, it's a family thing that they can write. But then now I'm just like, Yeah, so that's the first one. And then the second book is Yoruba Love Stories by Olabode Ogunlana. And the third one is The Real Leaf by Olabode Ogunlana.
Yoruba girl to the core. Wait, did you read all them Yoruba? Did you read all them Yoruba books? Them Ijapa Tiroko. There is one other one. Can you name the Yoruba books we read in secondary school? Ijapa Tiroko. There was one other one.
All sorts of things. There is Ijapa Okonyonibo.
Okonyonibo, yeah.
Yeah.
There was one in senior secondary.
Ijapa.
It was not Ijapa anything. There was one other one that was popular.
Okay.
I forgot. I was discussing with someone like about Yoruba books last week. I've forgotten the name. Damn.
And it was popular?
It was very popular. I think almost everyone read it, but I've forgotten. It seemed like the type that got A1 in Yoruba.
Actually, this is a funny story. So in my school, when you got to senior secondary, you can choose between Yoruba and French if you're in the arts class. I don't know if it's called arts class everywhere, but sure, that's today's class in my school. Okay, so you could choose a language, either Yoruba or French. Mm-hmm. And so some people choose to write their language for WAEC, some people don't. And I actually chose Yoruba in SS1. Mm-hmm. And then when it was time for WAEC, and I was like, I need to write 9 subjects, right? I was like, I'm just going to put Yoruba there because I can't come and die. I can't start looking for maybe geography or something to put there. Mm-hmm. So I put in Yoruba. Ended up being that I was the only one who registered for that. And I literally went to that big exam hall by myself. I'm telling you. And I remember the invigilator coming and being so angry. Because he came for just one person.
Jesus Christ. But then I don't think you would have made any difference if other people were there, because they most likely would have, if I thought there was any dubbing, they would dub from you now. You are the Yoruba maestro.
Excuse me. Excuse me. But that was interesting, and I did get A1 in Yoruba. Shout
You
out to my
did?
Yoruba teacher.
And you're the only
Yeah.
one. Are you serious?
Yep.
Okay, I beg. You teach me Yoruba. Tell me your price.
Definitely.
I
No
beg.
problem.
All right. So yeah, so which one are you going for? Which one are you going to talk about first?
The Secret Lives of Baba Segi's Wives, I think.
All right.
I keep thinking now, is it Shegi
The
or Segi?
Nigerian classic. Everybody keeps talking about that book.
Interesting, because when I read this book, I have like a group of friends that read as well, and they hadn't even heard anything about it.
Really? Nigerian?
Yeah, they're all Nigerian. I think this was in 2016 or 2017. I can't really remember.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
that was when
That's
I read
surprising,
this book.
because that book is literally like the Bible in Nigeria. Everyone talks about that book.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. I do know it gained some traffic when the screenplay, is it a screenplay is called? Like the theater performance came out, and everyone's talking about it.
That's for this particular book.
Oh yeah, like they did a whole live performance of
Are you
it, I
serious?
think at the Museum Center.
Let me check it out.
Yep.
Live performance. Secret Lives of Baba Segi's wives. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Like it was really crazy, and I was so sad because I was in Nigeria at the time. Because I absolutely would have gone.
I'm not really keen on seeing all these live
Stage plays.
Yeah, stage plays. They are always so exaggerated, I think.
But I think that these were the traditional.
The performances.
My why I fancy them is because these were the first kind of plays that ever existed before cameras and before we started doing like movie productions and all of that.
Yeah.
So I think it is, for me, it is captivating, or it is interesting to see how the actors are able to keep your attention.
Yeah.
Like when it's live, when it's a production, like it's edited and all of that. I'm not saying like that's easy work or anything, but if you fuck up on stage, that's the end of it. Like, how do you be that bold to go ahead with something like that?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, but for me, it's more like, for the way I rate movies, the way I rate like people's acting is how well can you act in such a way that I would not know that you're acting.
I get
how
that.
real, how close to real is it? Exactly. Stage play, there is the need to exaggerate because you want the audience to hear you. You stress out some words. Exactly. You do some things that ordinarily you won't do in real life.
Wouldn't do.
Yes, just to captivate people in the room. So that's why I just find it very G. I won't really pay to watch a stage play. But it's something you like. It's not bad. So yeah, you were talking about the book.
Yes. I think it's an interesting book, and the Nigerian setting is really not, well, don't let me say it's not the traditional home setting you would have, but it's a scandalous book. All the wives he had, they are different characters, the kind of things they used to do behind his back. The very last wife, what's her name? I think her name is Bolanle. And yeah, exactly. The very last wife, and how she was a young girl in university and all of that. I'm a lover of culture and tradition, so like this really brought me back home to the basic traditional Nigerian household where you can marry like 5 or 10 wives, nothing spoil.
That thing is
Yeah.
that thing is actual big dick energy. That's at the at the highest level. You have 5 wives.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very cool. It's
So
something one should try. I would recommend. Highly
what?
recommend.
Oh, so you're gonna try that?
Highly recommend for every man out there. Have at least 5 wives. At least 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Love to hear it. And the very last person, the very last lady, Bolanle,
Yeah.
it was interesting that she knew things about him which could shake up the entire household. I really love that she had some kind of leverage against him or over him, I
she
should
knew
say.
things about Baba Segi.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So I really love that she had leverage against him, because typically I feel like the traditional Nigerian home is just like whatever the father or husband says is final.
Yeah.
But she used those secrets to force his hand in some sort of, in the manner of speaking.
Yeah.
And then like there were the other wives who did all sorts of things behind his back, so much for being the first wife, so much for being the second wife, so much for being the third wife. Some of them weren't even faithful. Some of them, oh my god, some of them had children for him that weren't really his.
Story
Which is
sounds
crazy.
familiar. It's normal legal story. Sounds really familiar.
Exactly. So like an interesting exposition, I should say, the basic Nigerian traditional house. I'll say that if anyone who isn't Nigerian reads this book, they can have some sort of insight to, I don't even know if I should still say that's the basic Nigerian home, because things are changing now. Like
I think it is. If you are looking at the numbers compared to, because if you are talking about Nigeria, you're not just talking about urban Nigeria. I think it is urban Nigeria things are actually changed. Some things are changing. But
so if you think like Nigeria at large is still the same?
Yeah, it's still the same, yes. If you go to the villages, go to the towns,
which is true. They still have multiple wives and all of that.
Yes, even in urban Nigeria, you still have a couple of people that still have these traditional beliefs.
True.
A lot.
You have a point.
Yeah. So we just have very few enlightened ones that, because even on Twitter, you still see people with this backward mentality,
which
here
is
and
sad.
there. So I wouldn't really say Nigeria at large is changing in that aspect. It's basically still the same.
So I guess like if a non-Nigerian reads this book, they can get some good insights into what the Nigerian home setting is like, and what to expect if they marry a basic average Nigerian person.
Sugar daddy. Sugar daddy.
Exactly.
But did they talk about why Bolanle chose to marry Baba Segi? Because she was quite aware the guy had 3 wives, right? So why did she marry Baba Segi of all people? I think the guy was, a middle-aged man. So why him?
Middle-aged. It was like Baba.
Yeah. So like why him? Did they talk about that?
I think it's more of a perspective thing. So everyone can interpret it how they want. I guess it was the basic, what's the word for this? Well, I call it a...
If he is Yoruba,
oh my god.
Just put it out there.
You, fam. I don't want to call it a parasitic relationship. It was a what can I get for you thing from you, rather, for her. So I think she was just looking at how affluent he was, and
so basically Ojukokoro.
Exactly. And I guess like, well, I don't know if to say this,
for
but
the
that's
Igbo,
also...
for the non-Yorubas out there, Ojugokoro means big eyes, greed. Abi, is that not what it is?
Yeah, selfishness.
Selfishness, greed, all that.
So yeah, it was the main reason was basically what was in it for her. I wouldn't like to say she actually loved him. Like, I don't even think she liked him. So
So we can say, because everyone keeps saying that this is how a typical, when you read it, you see how the typical Nigerian home is and how the typical traditional Nigerian man is. And without even talking about the woman, that went to marry a man that already has 3 wives and she didn't really like because of his money. No one talks about that. I know, I'm just saying. Because everyone keeps talking about Baba Segi and how traditional and old-minded he is.
But no one talks about Bolanle, right?
Yes, she's an educated woman, right?
Person.
Well-to-do. Yeah, so why the fuck will she go and meet an old man that has three wives? It doesn't make any sense. Like, she didn't really like him, so obviously she I don't want to go digger is a very big word.
It's a deep word to
yeah,
use.
It's very deep. Yeah, but she was
She's
being
basically
greedy.
looking for a beneficial relationship.
Exactly. And we see that play out in the Nigerian society a lot too. So
Sure.
Fair enough. So, but what are you mentioned that she had something on him, something he had done. So what was it exactly? Did they state what it was?
To be honest, I can't recall, but I do know like she used it to get money from him. Let me see if I can find anything online. I genuinely can't recall. I don't know if it's just me that reads books and then
it happened. You know, people that read too many books now. Yeah.
I guess. So I think it had something to do with him not being how do I say this? He wasn't able to father kids, so basically all the 7 children he had from the other 3 wives weren't his.
And she knew that.
I don't think he knew that. So, you know how, or don't let me say you know how, it is kind of common for when a Nigerian woman gets married, next thing is, oh, when are you gonna have kids? We're already counting 9 months ago you got married. Why haven't you given birth to a child and all of that? So I guess for the rest of the wives, the first 3 wives, they found a solution to it, in quotes. But for Bolanle, it was different. She wasn't looking to... Well, she was the first to actually discover that he couldn't get her pregnant. And then she also figured that all the other 7 children from the first 3 didn't really belong to Baba Segi.
So Baba has been fathering people that are not his kids, children that are not his kids.
Exactly.
And he has been bragging about them. I think this is in line with what's happening. You know, the issue with Nice at the moment. Nice.
I don't actually.
Okay, so something happened in his marriage. I think a video sufficed of him fondling a woman's breast or something. So he came out and was apologizing in public and said everyone should beg his wife for him.
Interesting.
We should help him beg his wife also to save his marriage. I think he had been in 2 failed marriages. So I watched a throwback video of him talking with a couple of women, Tokemakinwa included.
Okay.
So he was talking about being a Yoruba man, that he wants to marry 4 wives and want to have as many kids as possible. That is a show of wealth. And we're asking him that do these women know when you marry them? Do you tell them that you are going to marry another woman, right? So he kind of dodged the question, right? That he wants to marry 4 women, and that he's doing he's doing them a favor by marrying them because there are more women than men. So if one man just marries a woman, there will be many women that will not be married. So he's really doing them a favor, right? So it just shows you that the typical Yoruba, the typical African man thinks this way, right? Have enough kids. But I think in a way, the hardship in Nigeria will not to make you rethink. Rethink this thing. The hardship right now, the things are so hard. You can't even think of having one child. It's hard.
Which is true.
You now have like 5 children from different wives.
I get that, but then there's also the parts of what family planning has to play. I don't think there's enough sensitization and education on family planning. So like you have all these people that don't even know that, oh, you can do this and do that to prevent having a child, and you're just like, oh, I have a child every 9 months, or they have children every 9 months and they have like 10 already.
It just reminds me of when we had a woman that used to come wash our clothes when we were very young. So this woman at that time had like 5 children, and she was pregnant for the 6th one. And then my mom and some other people just called her like, Auntie, come on. Is it that you and your husband don't know it? They don't know anything about family planning? And to be honest, she didn't. See, that was the first time she was hearing of stuff like that. She did. She hadn't heard of anything like that. So
and I'm sure there's so many people like that.
Yeah, there are so many people like that. Anytime like this, her husband jumps on her, boom, she's pregnant. Do you understand? 6 children. I'm not kidding you. So that was the first time in her life that she heard of that family planning.
Wow.
Many people like that too. We have a long way to go in this country.
And I'm really hoping we get there fast, because it be tense.
So yeah, there is something I would love, I want to start doing for this episode. Like when people talk about a particular book, you would rate the book yourself out of 10 on a scale of 10. So what would you rate Secret Lives of Baba Segi's wife?
Out of 10?
Yeah, be honest though.
I would say a 9.
Are you serious?
Yes, it's an amazing book. It's a well-written book. But I do have issues with promoting stereotypes. I mean, like, it's what's happening in Nigeria, but I also don't want my non-Nigerian friend or coworker to think that, every Nigerian is like that. But I guess like there's also only so much we can do.
Yeah.
I just wish like there were more books that. Okay, now that I think about it,
the nuanced part of the Nigerian society.
Now that I think about it, like if you compare both sides, like the average backward Nigerian setting versus the progressed part, I guess I can tell why it's always the backward parts that they were writing about.
So you give it a 9.
Just cause it's kind of stereotypical.
So it like shows just like a caricature of what a average Nigerian family looks like, and done pretty well. Fair enough. I think I agree. I think so. So let's move to the next one. Which one do you want to talk about?
Yoruba love stories. Oh my god. Oh my
Oh
god.
God, why do I think this thing is going to be like Tales by Moonlight?
Well,
Tales
I
by
mean, you can
Moonlight.
call it that. You can call it that. But this book was so good. It was so good. In contrast to The Secret Lives of Baba Segi's Wives, these were really cozy and warm love stories. I think there were 5 stories altogether of like different people who fell in love with each other. And I'll say that I really like them because, you know how you have the...
Wait, sorry, hold on. The title is Yoruba Love Stories. That means it wasn't like just one love story.
No,
right?
it wasn't.
So it's just like group of
5.
stories. 5. Okay.
Yeah, there were 5 in there.
No, okay. No problem. Continue.
Yes, so you know how we have the romantic novels, all the ones that the English writers
I don't know. I've never read a single romantic novel in my life.
No verse.
I know the
No
word. I know they read
verse.
those kind of books.
Oh my god. But yeah, there are all these romantic writers, and when you read them you're like, oh my god, when, and all of that. So this is the Nigerian version to that. I wish there were.
I really want to see how this...
I'm actually serious. I'm serious.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so there were... what was I gonna say? So this is Nigerian version of that, and I absolutely loved it because the stories were really traditional. They brought in like the basic things or the basic issues that Nigerians would face when trying to like choose romantic partners and all of that. When you're thinking about stuff like religion, when you're thinking about stuff like
tribe.
Exactly, tribe, all these things that we think about. Exactly. So all of those things were captured in this really nice book. Do I have a favorite one out of the 5? Let me see. I can't choose really.
So like, are these 5 different stories, are they kind of linked? Maybe they're all friends, or he just did one story, 2 different people from another universe, so to speak, then another set of people another set of people from another... you get my point? Like, no connection at all.
I get that. So they didn't have any connection really. They were all just like independent characters and all of that.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yes, even though they weren't connected, they still brought that warm feeling to your heart. I think I'm a hopeless romantic, so...
No, I need to know more.
Please leave me.
Like, I want to know
what
how...
I mean when I say...
I do not. I'm being honest.
Oh, wow.
So I want you to really expatiate. What do you mean when a Yoruba story makes your heart warm?
It doesn't necessarily have to be a Yoruba story. I'm just saying romantic stories in general. You know how when you go for someone's wedding and then they're giving a toast or they're talking about how they met and then you're like, oh, that's so cute and all of that. It brought that feeling to my heart when I read these stories. That's what I meant by warm feeling. Please, dear, don't stress me. Please. Yeah.
So what about okay.
No, you can go ahead.
Yeah, what about the Yoruba culture was talked about in the book? Was there anything new? Is there something new you'd like to share Because I kind of, when I read the summary of the book and little reviews, said like he really opened up. It was like not the good Pandora box on Yoruba culture and mythology, right? So what about it was new and intriguing to you that you'd love to share?
I don't think there was so much that was new, maybe intriguing, because I do read a lot of traditional and cultural stuff. Oh God, please. I'm just a big lover of culture.
I have to learn a lot from you. A lot.
I really am just a big lover of culture, and I guess like since our country no agree us to live here, we have to find some sort of way to take our culture to wherever we end up, right? Yes, so I do try to do a lot of research on what like the olden day Yoruba culture was like, and just hold on to those memories, if I can call them that. So yeah, for the book, I won't say that there was anything new per se, but I would say that the culture, I don't know if you know what this is, Alarino. Do you know what that means?
I've heard of Alarino before. I've forgotten what it means. I know it sounds familiar. It sounds familiar, Alarino. What does it mean?
So that's like a middleman. In the olden days, they used to have a middleman.
Yes. To go and talk to the family of the deceased.
You can just imagine.
I know I've heard it before.
So that brought the whole Alarino thing to life.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Like actual traditional type relationships in the book.
Not all of them were traditional, but this one in particular was traditional, and they had the whole middleman thing, going to talk to the girl and her family and blah blah blah. So every time I've ever come across the whole Alarino thing before that, it was basically theory, and they'll just say, oh, there's one guy who doesn't really have work, but they call him middleman, and they'll go to the bride's family. Honestly, like, that was what I thought, because you're teaching us about stuff like that in the 21st century, and we are out here like, so
it
you
sounded
need to tell
really
me
weird
that
when
this grown man, God bless you, it's so weird. Don't tell me that this grown ass man, he cannot come and talk to me by himself.
Exactly, cannot
God bless you.
Himself.
Oh my God, he has to send one jobless person that
I heard something
fails to have a job.
I heard something about the origin of the word Owambe, right? So something
Owambe.
like something like when they are doing wedding, right? Like the bridesmaid will be there also, and the groomsmen will kind of tell someone or ask that when they want to ask them to dance with them, they will ask if the bridesmaids kind of a way to ask if the bridesmaids are still single, right? So they ask Showambe. If they say Owambe, then they dance with them. Which you get. So over time, it was called Owambe.
Interesting.
Oh God!
Actually,
so cringe.
I know, right? Actually, I haven't ever heard that story before. This is interesting to know.
Yeah, I think that's the only
Yoruba also
thing that I know you
me.
don't know.
Not for you. I'm sure there's many other things I don't know. I'm sure. I'm not done learning. Yoruba has a whole lot to it, and there's just some like really intriguing things that you just would have never thought.
Yeah.
So many exciting things, honestly. And then I also feel like, am I missing out on something from the Igbo culture? I'm not Igbo, obviously. I can't read Igbo.
Yeah.
And I just feel like there are probably also things that they have that I can't tap into or that I can't connect with. Same goes for Hausa and all the other tribes as well.
So, There's something that's been on my mind since I was a kid, right?
Okay.
To create an animated movie,
Okay.
an indigenous animated movie on
Interesting.
3D preferably, but on African gods, on Nigerian gods.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I
So
love African gods.
Marvel type kind of setting. You get. I
Mm-hmm.
want to
Mm-hmm.
build, even before there were Marvel, like MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe, before they started
Mm-hmm.
making these movies, they had built a culture, right?
Yeah.
The books have
Yeah.
been there for like almost 70 years.
Sure.
Built a following. I would really love to do the same for Nigerian God, because we have very rich history.
We
have a lot
do.
of
I
gods, and we
agree.
can make really robust storylines,
Out of
plots
them.
out
I
of them,
agree.
and make a lot of money from them. So
Sure.
like start with maybe you know how Super Striker was trending then, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do series of what do they call them? Those magazines. There's a name they call them.
Comics?
Comics, yes. For just Nigerian gods, for young kids. Put it on TV or these channels or Silverbed or something. Show them every Saturday. So, but make them fun, not boring. Do you understand?
Definitely.
Then over time,
That
build
is
that culture, and then boom, make
movies
an
out of
animated
them.
movie out of it. Yes. Then
Makes
if that
so
one
much
banks,
sense.
now make a whole. You can now build a very big storyline that can
Brand.
span for like 20 years. And with that, people have to appreciate their culture more. People would want to know more about Nigerian
Exactly.
culture.
That
But it
was
has
what I
always
was
been in
going
my
to
head for a
say.
long time. So to you, what's your favorite? Who is your favorite Yoruba god?
This is an interesting question because I've never thought about this before. Ooh.
I have two questions. This is the first one. Who is your favorite Yoruba god?
Okay, let me give you a question as well. Do you know who they call Olukoso?
Yes, I've heard of that. Olukoso. Yes.
Gege. What's
I've
his
heard
other
of
name?
that. I've forgotten. Honestly.
Gege.
Olukoso, is that not Shango? Is that Shango?
But you
That's
just
Shango.
Googled this. Don't
No,
tell
no,
me you
no.
knew that from your head,
I'm not that fast. I'm not that
It's
fast.
in play me.
I'm serious. I know. I knew I'd heard that song, that name before.
Yes.
That's Shango Olukoso.
That's
Yes.
Shango,
Yes.
yes. I think that is my favorite. Which really,
Why?
if my mother hears me saying that, she'll kill me. She'll just slaughter me. But I think he's an interesting character.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know the backstory to why he's called Olukoso or Obakoso.
He hung himself.
Exactly. And it was out of anger. He used to breathe fire out of his nose and out of his mouth because he was angry.
Mm-hmm.
He used to do so many crazy things because he was angry.
the god of lightning, so.
Well,
or
I guess
thunder,
so.
whatever.
Of fire, actually. Mainly known for fire. I think he's an interesting character to learn from, not to let your anger go out of, I don't know what to call it, out of control.
Yeah.
Because if you do, there are consequences for that. Imagine being so angry that you go and commit suicide. Imagine being so angry that you're breathing fire out of your nose. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
That's just too much anger. So he is my favorite just because, I think just because he's the god of fire, and also because I personally can learn so many things from his existence, so to say. And I just know that if it's not going to matter in the next 1 year or 1 week, I should say. Don't spend more than 1 minute being angry about it.
How easy is that though? Easier said than done.
Well, it is, but also for me, like, I don't like stress. I hate stress with my life. So
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You don't seem like the type.
I hate stress with my life. If anything's gonna get me angry, or if anything gets me angry, I'm just like, oh well, we move.
E-beatings.
Exactly.
Okay. So my second question is, what's your favorite Yoruba story? Or Yoruba folklore?
Yoruba folklore. Let me see. I think I have quite a number.
Okay, maybe you can give me 2 or 3 if there are too many for you to streamline to just one.
Okay. Do you know this? Baba Moa Bebe.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You don't know that?
I know now. Baba Moa Bebe.
That is one of them.
That has to do with Ijakwana.
Ijakwa.
But I've forgotten the story. I just know the song. I've forgotten the story itself.
Basically, his wife wanted to get pregnant, and he went to a herbalist, and he was given some herbs or charms, or I don't even know what to call them, for his wife to eat. And he basically thought it smelled so good that he ate it all up on the way, and then his stomach started growing.
Yeah.
And then he went to beg the herbalist and all of that. That's where that song came from. And he went back a second time again. You can just imagine. So that's a funny story to me. Another one would be one that is called Olurumbi. I don't know if you know that one.
I don't know that one.
Okay, so this woman, she also wanted to have a child. This is interesting because it's all about having children. That's all I've been talking about since. She was trying to have a child, and then she went to a god, and she promised that she would give that child back to the god as far as she got pregnant and had a baby. So when her daughter reached a certain age, the god came for the child, and she basically just went into the ground until only her hair was left.
Until only her
hair was left on the ground, so she basically lost the child.
I think I've heard of that too, and there are some stories, mythologies around different cultures that are so similar. It's like I don't know why they are similar. There are different cultures that that they shouldn't have had any contact with each other, but you hear their myths, and like the story of Olurumbi is something that's happened in the Bible, right, with Hannah and Samuel. In the Greek mythology, Persephone, I think her mom promised Hades or something that if like she struck a deal with Hades or so every summer or winter he comes to take her to the underworld and brings her back. So that's the way that was the way they explained times and seasons. Like I think winter and summer, winter and fall or something. So like there are other cultures like that. I think there are two more of them. The similar thing.
And they just have similar stuff
like
going
begging a god. It's called archetype. Yeah. It's called an archetype in psychology or psychoanalysis.
Interesting.
So the same mental image from different cultures at the same time. And and those cultures do not necessarily need to have any contact, but it's just one image about them that is similar.
I'll just say that I guess they're all trying to teach us the same lessons, because obviously if you're Yoruba, you learn the story of Olurumbi and all of that, and you learn that you can't really you can't cut short a process or something like that.
Yeah.
And then someone else who's Greek can learn from their own story as well,
Yeah.
that you can cut corners and all of that. So I
Yeah.
guess in the end, it really is just to teach us the same lesson, to make sure that everyone, no matter your culture, no matter where you come from, is learning the lesson, basically.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
What I was like more concerned with is why the similarity? What's this? Like, there is something that connects every one of us psychologically that we don't necessarily, like, maybe embedded in us. We don't necessarily need to be connected. We don't necessarily, because there is no way we would have had any contact with people in Greece that would say,
Makes
okay, maybe we shared our stories with one another. That's why those stories are similar. They're different stories, but very similar. Other cultures that way too, and there's maybe symbols too. Symbol of the cross. There are different cultures without even having contact with the Jews having similar symbols or symbology. It's very intriguing. The human mind, very, very
true.
Yeah. So let's move to the last book. The Rare Leaves. The Rare Leaf.
The Rare Leaf, yeah.
Okay.
This one is a book that is focused on healing. Don't let me say healing. It's focused on, what do you call it? Supernatural powers in herbs. Let me put it like that. Because this relief, it was used for so many things. It was used for healing ailments. It was used for winning wars. What? Exactly. So yeah, it was used for so many different things, and obviously the title of story is rare, so it was really hard to find it, and it just had like different people who were looking for this rare leaf for different purposes, all in the same environments, all in the same town, I should say.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember one of the characters.
That's fine.
I can't really remember his name, but he was basically a thief, and he was also on the quest for this rare leaf to grant him success in his endeavors, in quotes. People were looking for it for serious reasons, like getting healed, or they were going to war and they needed some kind of assurance that they'll win the war.
Yeah.
It was just the one bad person that stuck out. I was looking for it in order to steal, so that was interesting to me.
So it's basically like searching for the elixir of life ish.
Exactly, that is the word. English is your strong suit.
How now? No, they want me.
See, I was trying to express myself in English. I not find the words.
You're more Yoruba inclined.
You see?
You're more So it's something like that. Like an answer to all situation. It is going to increase your lifespan, bring success and luck to you. So everyone was basically looking for that thing.
For that, exactly.
So I think maybe it brought out the worst in people.
Yes. And just that struggle for, I have to get that, or I'm the one who deserves it. You didn't even work for it or anything.
Yeah.
And I guess like that is so relatable to our everyday life. Sometimes we're struggling for things with people, and we aren't really we aren't being considerate, basically, and it's every man for himself affair. I can't come and kill myself for anybody type of thing.
Fair enough, but I think that is the every man for himself idea is a typical man, is our default setting. We catering for every other person around us is artificial, I think. It's just it's just a social construct for people to be able to not just live together, but collectively try to make everyone better, right? But the default setting for every human being is myself and my immediate family. But it's very weird evolutionarily for a human to care for someone you're not even related to. It's weird.
Without expecting anything
expecting anything, just because you, like, in quotes, love them.
It makes sense.
For being human is artificial. There are things that were made. These are artificial laws, artificial ideas that were made just to make everyone work together collectively, coexist and improve ourselves. But ideally, when push comes to shove, that basic instinct comes once in a while.
It goes out of the window.
Yes, especially when the price is very big, like the rare leaf, as you said. Exactly. That instinct comes up immediately. Every man for himself. So, have you ever struggled for stuff not really so important? Maybe struggle for fuel for scarcity, or struggle to sign or something. Have you done your NYC?
Nope.
Okay. I'm just trying to paint. It's because it's in Nigeria, you can actually experience stuff like that. Where you struggle, right? Struggle to do certain things, and at that moment you are thinking about just yourself. You don't really care what you say. You don't even really care even if you need to bribe the next person. You drop all your morals down because you want to get stuff done. Right? Do you get? Sure. So have you fallen in that? Have you been in that situation before? And how was it like?
I don't know if I would really call this a struggle, but it was when I had to get my national identity number.
Yeah.
So basically, they made that thing compulsory for renewing your passports, which was like, I was so angry. And then my mom was like, oh, you have to do before you go back. And I was like, okay, I'll get it done. I think I set myself up for failure because I went online. Honestly, like, this is me being the typical sane person.
Yeah.
That lives in a working society, right? Exactly. So I went online, I went to the website, and I saw step 1, you fill this form. Step 2, you submit it to so and so desk. Step 3, you get your biometrics captured. Step 4, you get your something printed out. And step 5, you come back on the assigned date to pick up your card. I'm like, 5 steps. You cannot do it in one day. I was like, I'll go there and shock all of you now. So I got there by 8:05.
Which one of it? Which
it was
center?
In Lekki, Igbo.
Oh, okay, that one.
The local government, yeah. So I got there by 8:05 a.m. early morning. I'm feeling good. It's a Monday or Tuesday, I can't remember, but it was really early in the week. And I was like, yes, let's crush this so that I can renew this passport, and that'll be the end of it, right? So I got there, and then there's so many people. I'm like, yeah, typical Nigerian thing. And then I see the guy that seems to be in charge. And I'm like, good morning, sir. How you doing? And all of that. If I had known, I for no greet him, but that one don't pass. And I tell him, I'm here to get my national identity number and blah, blah, blah. And when I was done talking, this guy just burst out into laughter. And I'm like, Ejo, Shimojo, AY, or basket mask. Exactly. I was like, please, what's going on here? He says, and you are just coming now. My sister, you can't get it done today. I'm like,
by 8 or 9.
My dear! I'm like, Ejo, it's just past 8.
You fuck up.
And what's happening? And I was like, oh, why can't I get it done today? It's like, I should come the next day by 4 a.m. I'm like, excuse me, what time am I gonna freaking wake up to come by 4 a.m. And then I just asked like someone else around who was already in the process. Basically, you had to go there by that 4 a.m. to write your name down on a list, and they will only accept a certain number of people for that day.
Yes.
Exactly. That was really painful because they were accepting only like 50 people in a day, and I'm sure they had not less than 7 workers. And then they can just decide they're done with those 50 people and they're closing by 11 o'clock and going to their houses.
Yeah. That was exactly what they do.
That hurt me so bad. Even on top, leaving my house by like...
That hurt me. Nigeria's not sure if you say that hurt me.
Let me tell you, in plain and simple Yoruba, imagine waking up by 3 o'clock to
you
get
actually
ready.
Did it.
What was I supposed to do, fam?
Oh my goodness.
I've told you before, my G. We don't have connects in my family. We are plain people.
Next time you would have dropped small money for them.
I still dropped small money. That was to keep my name on the list, to make sure I was actually seen that money. Day. My dear.
More.
That was the one... Well, as far as I can remember, that is the one time that I can say, yes, it really was a struggle. And like, I got there by 4, I wrote my name, and then I went back home. And then I came back like by 8 to get all of that done. Even in the midst of all of that, there was just like some microaggressions I could not understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
That was an experience. If I could find the real leaf at that time, it would have magically been done. But see my life.
Oh God, mine wasn't. I was lucky because I went there. I think, something happened that day, so there were not many people. So I went there, and maybe there were just only 2 people, and the woman there was so aggressive, very aggressive. Look at the time you're just coming. I came like 7. Look at the time you're just coming. Blah blah blah. One thing I've learned with the Nigerian civil service system: when you need something from them, try to be humble. Try to be humble as fuck. If they tell you are mad, yes ma, yes ma, I'm sorry, please ma, yes ma. That was what I said throughout. I'm sorry ma, please ma, yes ma. And I was nodding my head, yes ma, please ma, okay ma, any small thing ma, just for me to get this thing done. Because I know if I try to form English, they will use me to
Exactly.
So I dropped money. Yeah, even with the money I dropped, they told me to come the next day. So I came the next day to do. But that wasn't much of a struggle for me compared to NYC. My goodness. That was the actual rare leave. Oh my goodness. It was insane. Trying to sign, trying to be on the line, lies. You lied that I've been here before.
So many NYC stories.
Yeah. It's been mad. Nigeria just brings out the worst in people.
Which is so sad. I think like having spent some time in a functioning society, I just feel like really terrible.
When functioning society, you talk about everything.
I'm actually serious. The sad part is that the sad part is I find that the average Nigerian person glorifies suffering.
Yes, that is sick.
The only way to get things done. Exactly. I'm like, life doesn't have to be this freaking hard.
Yeah.
It can be so much simpler. So much simpler.
Don't worry, we'll get there.
Amen.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Let me tell you this fun story. In primary 2, I vividly remember primary 2 yellow. Yes. Primary 2 yellow. My teacher's name was Mrs. Iroko. Very interesting woman. We're doing social studies class, and we're talking about like the Nigerian coup and like all of that Nigerian history and all of that. And I was like, this country was very bad in those days though. But yeah, when I grow up, I'll be like, the country will be better. I'll be able to marry and have children here. My brother, I'm grown up and I'm like, not yes, it could be.
No one wants to raise their children here. Nobody.
Exactly.
Nobody.
But like back then, I was like, I'm just in primary 2, right? I still have a long time ahead of me before I grow up in coats. But now I'm grown and it's still the same.
Things have not changed, and I think things are even, I think, worse.
Like, but I'm really looking for that breakthrough. When
people like you are jackpotting, just stay back and try to change Nigeria.
You see, that's why I am living vicariously through someone like you. Since you're I'm
telling you because I'm leaving. I'm telling you to stay back to make this country great for us, so that we can come back.
Oh my god,
we need great minds like you.
Yeah, my Odessa.
All right, so before we end, do you watch what's it called? Do you watch Disney movies? This question has been in my head. You watch Disney movies, innit? Or Disney animated movies?
I do.
Have you seen Little Mermaid?
I have.
Do you remember?
For the most part, I can't remember the storyline, and I remember what the graphics were like.
Do you remember Sebastian?
Oh, I love that guy, the crab.
Yeah, the crab.
Yeah.
So you know how he is, what's it called? You know Ariel. Ariel is the main girl, right? Mm-hmm. The princess. You know how he is Ariel's sidekick. He advises her.
Yep.
He literally was the one that made her who she became, and who she later becomes, and was involved in her character development, so to speak.
Yes.
We have someone like that in our lives. So who is that to you? Who is your Sebastian?
For me.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is an interesting question. Everything is interesting to me. I will say, okay, I think there's 2 of them.
Okay.
I'll say that the first is my friend. Her name is Deborah. And it's funny because I met her in university. They always say that you can't really make true friends in uni, but I beg to disagree. She is absolutely the sweetest person ever. And she's definitely one of the first people I run to if I'm in deep shit.
Why are you talking like, you just sounded like you are always in deep shit?
Well, I mean, as you can already tell, I'm not really a serious person, so I'm not always in deep shit, but
yeah,
she is one of the first people that come to mind, like if I have something come up that I really need advice on. And then the other person would be my Auntie Yetunde. Shout out to Auntie Yetunde. She is the best. She's the mommy figure for me. Yeah. Everything I'm scared to tell my mother, and I know I can just get like a 360-degree revolving slap. I tell her, and then I know how to progress from there. Yeah. She's a young mom, so I say she's a youth really. Yeah. So she's kind of the mommy, and she's also the friend.
The sidekick. Fair enough. All right, so this has been fun, like really, really interesting.
I know.
Yeah, talking to a Yoruba sage like you has been a privilege.
Did you say sage?
Yes, no.
Sheye.
It has really been a privilege, and I would really appreciate if you could at least lower your shoulder to to
My
teach
shoulders
me.
are not high,
No,
please.
lower your shoulder to teach me a little bit, just a little bit of Yoruba. Help my life.
Definitely.
Is it going to be free? Or I need to pay something?
Sure, why not?
Free?
Why
Oh
not?
God, you're so sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So for doing this with me, I really appreciate it. And for everyone that has listened for this couple of, I think, over an hour, thank you and goodbye.